It's me. It's an end to the TTG. Rolling once again with that BTW Big Trouble Bad Bishop taking up the whole screen. And you got myself, Nicky the Good, and we are the Meat Pop Express. And boy, do we have yet another jam-packed episode for you guys today. And what we're talking about today is kind of interesting because there's been a lot of movement in the world of professional wrestling. I'm not actually talking about the road to WrestleMania. I'm not talking about anything that AEW's got going on with their own programming right now. What I'm talking about is the hot market, baby. I'm talking about the free agents. We have free agency. It's like the winter meetings right now going on in professional baseball, right? In MLB, right? That's what we got going on right now in professional wrestling. All of these great names are on the market. They're making vignettes. It's exciting. We're going to talk free agency today and where we think these people are going to end up. Ben, do you got any words? What are you thinking right now?
Well, we know in sports, like the free agency period, we know like the NBA, when the NBA, this league, and when the free agency period gets started in July, people go crazy. People are switching teams, and it sets the internet on fire. And we're on the internet age, and over the past few years, with the releases WWE has had, there's a lot of speculation. People are thinking, where is my favorite wrestler going to go? They were just recently released. Was it warranted? Was it not? Did WWE, did AEW, did any of these companies drop the ball on these certain wrestlers? So we're going to talk about a few, some from WWE, most from WWE, but others from other places as well that we're going to talk about. We're going to speculate. Where are they going to go? Do they actually need wrestling? Should they do something else? We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're a big speculation podcast. If you guys didn't catch it, we love the old speculation. We don't like the gossip. We like to speculate. We like the fantasy book. We like to think about how cool shit could possibly be. And here's the thing about free agency. And, it gives an opportunity. And now more than ever, with all the different options out there and social media in particular, you have the ability to create buzz. You have the ability to become a star. Maybe you weren't a star where you once were, but if you have it, it's the opportunity is in your hands because there's no red tape. It's not always a disadvantage. Sure, you love having a job, but sometimes getting a little bit of creative freedom to just be who you are, kind of sets you up for some success. So let's run through some names at the top of the list. We have none other than we got the Zig Man. We got Nick Nemeth, formerly, Nemeth. I guess, Dolph Ziggler. He's on the market right now. Probably the most established name in terms of just like has done a shit ton in the business, has been a world champion, and is just tried and true. There's not a person who doesn't know who Dolph Ziggler is. Ben, what do you think about the Zig Man and Nick Nemeth? What do you think he's got going on?
Well, now since he's going by Nick Nemeth, we will just say Nick Nemeth from now on. So Nick, in respect to him, Nemeth, he's a guy that was in WWE for almost 20 years at this point.
Crazy.
He came up through OVW. He came up through Deep South in the developmental. When he started on the roster, we all remember he was the handshake guy. But then he did everything. World champion, Money in the Bank, countless tag title reigns, Intercontinental champ, US champ. He's done everything in WWE, and unfortunately, his time was up. He's in his 40s now. But he's had one hell of a resume. For Nemeth, we've already seen a few things popping up. We've seen him in New Japan. We've seen him kind of sitting in the crowd with his brother. I do think my speculation is that Nick Nemeth is going to wind up doing a little bit of a run, maybe a short run in AEW with his brother. The two are very close. I think he's going to help his brother out a lot for him to go there, have a few matches, be a tag team there, create a little buzz for himself. So I think maybe I'll say my speculation, maybe like a 6-month, maybe to a year run in AEW.
Yeah, he's extremely interesting because it's one of those deals where like you've been in the business for like 20 plus years, comparable to like an LA Knight, right? And you're in your 40s now, but the reality is like, what is 40 years old at this point?
No,
especially in pro wrestling, like you got about I would say like a 7-year window of being in really good shape. Look at Edge. Edge is basically he's 50 years old, like, and he had freaking 2 neck surgeries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the age thing is an interesting thing. But if you look at Ziggler right now, the guy still looks like $1 million bucks. He still moves better than half the people, in professional wrestling, period. Easy. And he just knows what the hell he's doing. I think he could land anywhere. I like the AEW thing. The thing with AEW, and it's interesting because it's like the ideal places. If you told me I'm booking it right now, I could go and put him in AEW right now and get him in like the main event picture. I really could. I honestly
they need a top baby face, right?
They need a top baby face, someone who could talk on the mic and someone who's just not like a one note person. Like he obviously can go in the ring and he obviously can go on the mic and he knows how to work social. He's perfect, but I don't necessarily know if I could trust old Tony to book him the way he should be booked in my eyes, at least like that. So I do think he's going to be an AEW with. I think New Japan is definitely something interesting because you can go and create a little different buzz there. His buddy, Matt Cardona, did that. He's been doing it. He continues to do it. And New Japan just allows you to just be freaky, man. You could do whatever the hell you want. There are no rules out there, brother. So I think that AEW is probably with his bro is probably the most logical spot. But I also think he just does a bunch of runs right now where he's just trying to take over the scene. That's kind of what I think he's going to be doing.
Why not? Go make your money. Like you say, he's been in WWE for 20 plus years. He hasn't done the convention circuit. He hasn't done the indie circuit. You can make a ton of money. I'll be on a show with Nick Nemeth coming up in a few weeks in Maryland at MCW ACW Fan Jam over in Joppa, Maryland. So he's going to be there as well as a guy we will be talking about next. So that's pretty exciting. He's going to make a ton of money.
I assume he's jobbing out to you, right?
He's jobbing. He's going to do the 2-minute job.
He's going to take the big boot and the sidewalk.
In all due respect, what he does best. So no, but I think we're big. I'm a big fan. I was a big fan of Dolph Ziggler. I'll still be a big fan of Nick Nemeth. Also, a tremendous human being, very nice guy, an infectious smile. You can't help but just be enamored by the guy. So I think he's gonna be fine. He's in his 40s. He lives in Scottsdale, Arizona, a single guy. He's having his fun.
Hey man, do you while you can, brother.
Yep.
Because once you pop out some offspring like old Nicky the Good here, things just become more difficult. Anyway, here we go. So next stop, we got Riddle. He's on the market. He is as official as it gets when it comes to, actually being legit. Dude is a, UFC guy, MMA guy, the whole deal. He's got a little bit of controversy surrounding him, but he's an interesting cat, man. And, you need someone to hate. You need someone to love. What do you think about our boy Riddle?
Yeah, the controversy is one thing. And, I'm sure it doesn't seem like it's something that's going to continue with them. Maybe he just needs a little bit of a break. I think he said it himself, just a little bit of maturing, a little bit more, it happens to the best of us. So that's something I'm not worrying about. He's already popped up at MLW. So he's done a few things. I put him in the same realm as somebody like Nick Nemeth. They do the indie circuit for a bit. You were on WWE TV for a while. You're going to get all the autograph seekers, the people that want their encyclopedias signed, their action figures signed. People are going to bring you in for thousands of dollars to their indie fed to do a quick, 8-10 minute match with some jabron like myself. Now, so, just bring them in and do that for a few years. And then you know what? You never say never in WWE. They could be calling you in 2 years and be like, hey, we see what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Just like you said, just like a guy like Cody, just like a guy like McIntyre who did this as well. Go do your thing, takes a break, maybe he does MLW for a bit. Maybe he does TNA. Maybe he does New Japan as well. He has the MMA background. So, give it some time and I'm sure they'll be calling back.
The thing I like about Riddle is that he has an established character. Like he is a character his own self. So he can translate anywhere he goes because he's not just like, I'm a great wrestler. I'm going to go on the indies and kill it. It's like you're Matt Riddle, but you know what you are and you could just bring that to the indies.
I did see though that he had in an interview, he mentioned something like he doesn't want to be the goofball character anymore. So we might see something different. So that's interesting. I'd like to see where he goes.
He could go vicious and it would work immediately. He's a fucking knock you guy. I'll knock your block off.
And he's got like that strong, like villain like jaw too. So he can just be some 90s action movie villain. Like it just like
he could be like Mortal Kombat or Jean-Claude Van Damme type of movie type deal and it'll work.
Exactly. Now I'm interested to see what happens with his character and where he goes if he's kind of gets away from like the stoner bro type of character. We'll see.
Right. So next up, I got a personal favorite of mine. I'm going with Rick Boogs. Eric Boogen, something I can't do.
Boogenheimer, I mean, whatever. At
Going
Boogs.
on microphone here. What is going on? Okay, here we go. Yeah. So Boogs, right? He's on the market now. I'm gonna take this one.
Yep.
Got a problem with you, Triple H. I had a problem with you, man. This is my guy. Okay. When I saw him do the air guitar with Caleb Braxton in NXT, I was like, this is the fucking dude right here, baby. I have no idea how this guy just didn't get more screen time. It's the most frustrating thing for me because he's the exact type of character that I love. A guy that doesn't need to throw a punch or be in the ring. And I'm just excited to see him on. He's a guy that's meant for a television show. That's kind of the way I look at it. He got monstrous. He got fucking huge. He's a big dude. And like, we didn't even get to see a different side of him. They just showed him as like a goofball. I'm going to go with like the guitar and rock out. And I think he could have crushed it. I think he could have been incredible doing like advertisements and like been that like LA Knight type, that Miz type. I think he could have done all of that. And they just didn't do anything with it. Like, I'm talking nothing. He got hurt. Poor guy got hurt, right? Destroyed his leg. And he didn't do anything with them. He did this stuff with Shinsuke. I thought it was fucking fantastic when Shinsuke was boring as shit and no one gave a damn. He made people care about him. And he did nothing with them. And I think that anywhere he goes, that place, if they're looking for entertainment, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, Rick Boogs.
Yeah. I think he's a lost in the shuffle type guy. You know, there's a lot of guys that have a ton of talent. Unfortunately, just like, you know, it's just not fitting at the time. He came up with the Shinsuke thing. That was good. But I mean, look at him. He's bigger than Shinsuke. Like, why is he Shinsuke's like manager valet type position? You know, why isn't he out there like killing dudes? I mean, he was on our, you know, our best bud, Chris Van Vliet's podcast.
Yeah, best bud.
And he said, he's like, you know, they announced me at 260. He's like, dude, I'm 295, 297, whatever he said. I'm like, look at me. He's like, and I could tell like how he was talking to in that interview. I listened to a little bit of it. And I could tell how he was speaking. He seemed like, you know, full of piss and vinegar. And he was just like, you know, look at me. Like, look, a guy like me, like I should be going out, have in the spotlight. Like, I'm a big guy. Like, people are going to gravitate towards him. Look at him. He's a monster. Now, when it comes to like a future in wrestling, like he could have it, yes, but I feel like, you know, he might be somebody that's like disenchanted with it. You know, he could say, you know what, forget it. He has his YouTube. He's an entertaining as hell guy. He's got his YouTube. He was already big before WWE on YouTube. Now, maybe he's a guy that transitions over to be more of like a fitness influencer, or maybe he gets into like some sort of acting because he's talented. He's talented. This is
what I find frustrating. And you just made this go off in my brain.
Yeah.
He's meant for WWE.
I know.
He is meant for WWE. He's not meant to be in AEW doing like 15 to 20 minute like bangers, you dumb stupid marks. He's not meant to do that. He's meant to entertain with the red light, you know, with the red light hitting them and being like, you're on, Boogs, do your thing in front of thousands of people and light this place on fire. Now it's like, where do you go? He could bring I'd rather his act on the indies with the guitar, with the little, you know, put a battery in that some bitch and light up the indies for a bit than go to AEW personally, because I don't want to see him doing matches. I want to see him entertaining me. And he was in the fucking place.
No.
He was right there, man.
I know. And it's just, like I said, it's a lost in the shuffle thing.
He's the new R-Truth. He's like the other R-Truth. He could be an R-Truth.
Exactly.
Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, he could be R-Truth.
Yeah. Exactly, but I feel like R-Truth's going to be there till he's 80 years old and look exactly the same. So,
good for that dude, man. He's
right, for real. The genetics are insane. But no, Boogs. I think to put a nail in it, I think that Boogs. I don't see Boogs going to another wrestling company. Maybe he does a little bit of indie stint, you know, for now, and then I see him, you know, trying to do something else because it just seemed. He just seemed disinterested in wrestling after being let go by WWE in that interview with Chris Van Vliet. So
I would rather see him doing media or some type of
exactly.
And then guess what? If you go back to WWE, great. I don't really. He's meant for WWE. It's crazy to me that they fumbled that bag with him. So it's like I'm down with you. Like I hope he just entertains me somewhere. I don't care where it is, but wherever he is, wherever he pops up, I'm gonna be there, and he got my eyeballs.
Definitely. All right.
Okay.
Who's next? Who's next?
We got a fellow big man here. We got AJ Francis, also known as Top Dollar, or just now. I watched his vignette a few times, like when he was like the first person to like drop something because he got, I guess he got let go ahead of time, and he's like dollar, whatever. What do you think about the big dude here?
So people can make all the jokes they want about Dollar, right? He's a legit big man. He's a legit athlete. Guy was in the NFL. Right, for whatever 4 or 5 years. Did he get a lot of tick? No, but he was there, and that counts. So I don't want to hear anybody saying like, "Oh, he didn't play a lot." You weren't in the NFL, you dumb Mark. So listen,
stupid
he was
Mark.
So he played at a high level in college. He obviously played at the highest level on the NFL. He's a legit athlete. Guy can talk. He's charismatic. That's how he got his job. He didn't get his job by able to be going in the ring doing 50 rolls and 50 bumps in 10 minutes or so. He got his job because he's charismatic and he can talk. He got the opportunity to be on the A&E show, the Hidden Treasures show, because he can talk, because people are gravitated towards him. He is charismatic, and I think a guy like he's doing, or I should say Dalla, guy like Dalla now, he's going to the route of like the Cardona, of like the Cody. He's putting himself out there on social media. He's showing up in GCW. He's going to show up in Impact this weekend as well with a DJ Who Kid, a rapper. So I think he's doing all the right things. He's trying. He's one of the guys I think right now has the biggest chip on his shoulder. He's like, I am going to show you that I can either become a better wrestler or I am as entertaining as hell and I should be on your TV, because I do think so. I think there's a spot for Dollar. Was he used correctly? He's a big guy kind of doing a bunch of jobs and like that. No, like it's not how you're going to use him. I think that group had a little bit of momentum. Then, they were broken up, brought back. And so it kind of killed a little bit of it. But he's a guy I can see, being in WWE in the long run. World champion, maybe, but not everyone has to be a world champion.
Could he be a heavy for Swerve?
He could be a heavy for Swerve. Exactly. I think Swerve needs a heavy. They tried to do 2 heavies with Swerve and it didn't work out.
Because those heavies are not connected to him in any way. It's just like, it looks dumb. It looked dumb. And that's not a slight at those guys. That's just, it just doesn't work.
No, it's not. It didn't work. It didn't work. When you have a faction, you gotta have a faction that guys look like they like hang out.
Yeah, there's gotta be you end up like the fucking Union.
Yeah, dude, it's got to be something connected there. Like you can't just throw people together and say like, "Oh, by the way, they're in a faction now." It doesn't. It looks weird. There's got to be something connecting them. So
you could tell, the audience can tell when a faction's put together that doesn't make sense. You look at them and say, "Creative didn't know what to do with these guys." They're like, "Let's just see if this works." Because they clearly have nothing going on. Let's just give them so they could walk in on the entrance and then just, get the heat in the match or interfere at some point. That's not.
Yeah, it's like bad heat
credibility.
Yeah. That shit ends up being bad heat because everyone sees right through it. It's like you're just throwing these people together to get them on TV.
And really, if you look at Swerve now, and not to deter from the actual topic, like it's just him and Prince Nana. No one else is to anybody else in the fucking entrance. Like that's just mobile embassy, whatever. Doesn't matter. Like it's just Nana and Swerve.
And they want to make Swerve a heel, right? And everyone cheers him. Everyone cheers Swerve right now. They love it. They love the dance. They love, audiences like being involved. So you give them something, they're gonna like it. But you give them someone like a heat magnet, like a Dollar next to him, now people will start booing.
And that's one thing he has to his advantage, Ben. You nailed it. You fucking nailed it. He gets that unwarranted. I don't know why, but people just don't like you heat. And I don't know the guy from Adam. I don't know him, but I ain't ever going to knock someone because listen, you've said it. You've told me I've been, for those of you who don't know, like Ben is my first pro wrestler fan that's an actual pro wrestler, right? Like that's the truth. And I remember you saying if you got, and this has been said before, but if you got to present yourself like a star. If you don't, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Be like, yeah, guys, I suck. Sorry, I fucked up the jump. No, fuck you, man. I'm a goddamn star. I'm the one on TV. What are you doing, you dumb, sloppy ass, fucking stupid? I like to watch 45-minute heat burners with no action whatsoever. Dumb, stupid marks.
Because you got no life. jabroni Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think he's going to be fine. He's already doing the right things. Like you say, he's going along the same route as the Cardonas, the McIntyres, the Codys, putting himself out there, not taking time off, just like, hey, hitting the ground running. As soon as that December 20th hit, when he was able to be a free agent, when he was able to start, he got it going. So he's all doing the right things. He'll be fine. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does.
Next up, he's another interesting one. There's a portion of the internet that thinks this guy is like the greatest wrestler of all time. They think he is like the most like underutilized talent ever. And then there's another part of the internet that just thinks he stinks and that he's just really not that good. I want to know what you think, Ben. It's Ali.
I don't know. I mean, the guy's in great shape. The guy looks good. He's a good-looking guy. Great shape. He can wrestle. But again, the wrestling. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a
shit? If you can go out and have a 30-minute match, doesn't matter. You got to get over with the crowd. At the end of the day, you got to.
This is what I'll say.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I
was going to say, was he presented right? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he wasn't presented the way he seems like he can go on the mic. So maybe he wasn't given enough time. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe he wasn't given enough time. Maybe we can put him in the same vein as like a Boogs, where it's like lost in the shuffle type guy. He was in that crappy faction. Like, it was bad. I mean, I hate to downplay certain things, but I don't even know what they were called.
What was it? Something like Anarchy Rises.
I don't know. It was just. Was it? The guys in the mask that came out.
Retribution.
Sure. Yeah.
Was it Retribution?
Yeah, Retribution. It was this. It was this shit. So they didn't know what they were doing with it, and I don't know. It seemed like a far-fetched idea, and so you know what? That kind of a career. It seemed like a career killer for him, or at least a stint killer. We can say.
What was Dijak's name in Retribution? Boneyard.
One was like Slapjack was one of them. The Australian guy Shane Thorne was Slapjack, and I don't even know, man. It was
Crowbar.
So Crowbar, yeah, something like that. I don't T-bar.
Not even a crowbar, brother.
What the hell is a T-bar? Okay, so yeah, so you know what? Let's. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what he does. He's coming up. He's wrestling at GCW. I think in one of their next shows coming up at the end of the month. So, again, putting himself out there, trying to see what he can do. I think he seems like a guy that could be a fit for AEW just because, work rate guy. The internet loves him.
This is what
Tony Khan's going to love him. So.
This is what I'll say about Ali. First of all, whoever you're working with in your production department, very good. Because the guy can make a hell of a promo.
Yes.
Holy shit. I don't know what editors he knows. I don't know if he's rocking the Premiere Pro himself, but the dude, he's got skill when it comes to like cinematic. Like I have a vision of what I want. Now, the thing is though, is that when the red light goes on, I think WWE, they tried to give him like 17 different characters. First, he was like a cop defending the world. And then next thing you know, he's Anarchy Rises, Retribution, trying to take down the government. Listen, there's just too many things going on with him. He needs to find his character in his lane and just go with it because he can talk on the mic.
Yeah.
He has a lane. He has a point of view. I just think he just needs to stick to exactly what that is. Because I do find him interesting when he's talking. Like, he's an interesting guy. I think he's a better heel than he is a babyface. And I also think that I think he's stronger when he's a heel. But I also think when you're a heel, you don't need to do all that work rate bullshit. Like, just if you want to be a star, listen, all right, let's call it like it is. Look at all the biggest stars in pro wrestling. What do they all have in common? Ain't none of them doing your bullshit work rate stuff.
No.
Like, Roman ain't.
No.
And I'm talking like planchas and fucking Canadian destroyers, okay? Like, 37 super kicks. That's what I'm saying. Cody, Roman, Brock, LA Knight, like,
none of them. The only one you can say is like Rollins, because it's just how he does.
But is Rollins on the same tier as Roman?
Not. Exactly. No.
No. Right? And it's because it's all character driven. It's all fucking character driven. So my advice even though I'm a dumb mark, would be just be a heel and just tear down society, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But stick to one fucking character. Don't change it for anybody. You look fucking like a cyborg.
Yeah.
But I think he could fit in AEW. They just have like what's the spot? Like what's the heel spot?
Yeah, I don't think, and I don't think it seems like from what I've gathered from history, he doesn't want to be like the foreign heel menace. Like he doesn't want to do that. Like
I don't think he has to. I don't think he has to be either.
You don't, no, he doesn't have to be. That's a very much a Vince thing. So I think he'll get away.
It is, he doesn't have to be that.
No. I think he's good enough talker. He looks great. He can work. So again, he's a guy that he can write his own ticket. He just needs to find himself and find his character.
Listen, he could talk and he can obviously play a character, and that's half the battle. Because if you go on the indies without that,
yeah, you got nothing.
You got nothing. Next up, I got Riddick Moss and Tenille Dashwood. They're a couple. They're engaged. Congratulations, or as my father would say to men getting married, my condolences.
What a good dad joke.
I think these two have a shot if they really do go all in. It seems like they're traveling the globe right now. They're doing vlogs and stuff like that. They look great.
Yep.
They're a happy couple. They both can wrestle. And I do think they're both character driven. I mean, we've seen Tenille be Emma, like she's done a number of different characters. Riddick Moss looks like 1,000 million gazillion bucks.
Oh, yeah. Legit athlete.
I think if they get a character driven act, they could make noise.
He's a Triple H guy as well, so he's a workout partner of Triple H. You know, through the years, a lot of those guys continue to get jobs and keep jobs. You know, the Sheamus of the world. No, he should be there, but that's a thing. Sheamus should absolutely be there. But I think Riddick Moss will come back. I think he's a guy that's 100% going to come back. I think it's like hey, go out, try something different. You know, like JR used to say to people, go out and learn a new hold. You know, how are they going to miss you if you never leave? So let him go out. He had that weird Madcap Moss thing. He's got to get away from that stuff. You know, he's too big and he's too like imposing of a figure. Like I think he's shoot bigger than like a Wardlow. I think he is. Like he's a big dude.
He's bigger. He's bigger.
And I hope he learns a little bit on the indies. You know, Tenille has been on the indies, and so she can probably help him out and navigate it. I know he said he made a tweet which rubbed people the wrong way. He's like, all these indie promoters better be ready to back up the Brinks truck. Brother, don't think there's $1 million on the indie circuit. Like, don't be thinking that. You never done it. I know, but hey, I want you to get your money. I ain't going to talk about anybody's pockets here, but you know, be realistic. Go out, make your money, work on it, work on your character. And he's a guy that's like built like a McIntyre. You know, he's big, he's built, he's a big guy. McIntyre did it, went out to all these places, went to TNA for a stint, came back. Now look at him, world champion. So Riddick Moss will be back. I'm 90% sure he'll be back.
I just think it has to be an act. Like I am a sucker for couple acts. I just am. I just think it fucking works, man. Like, and you know what? Having a female with you, I like it, man. It just fucking works. Like there's not enough like female. Listen, first of all, Tenille's not a valet. She is a wrestler. Like she is a star in her own right. But just having like the presentation, I just think there's so much you can do with it, and the fact that they can both wrestle at a high level, I just think there's like it's not like and I enjoyed it when Mike Bennett and Maria were doing their love. I love that. Obviously, Maria got pregnant and everything like that, and that went away. But like, I loved that act immediately. And
great
Maria's
song
not
too.
Oh, I have it on my brother.
It's really good.
I listen to it at the gym because it's the greatest love I've ever known.
Oh yeah,
they're dancing in the middle of the ring like that. Is professional wrestling, and I think that these two could do it. I hope they actually do an act on the indies or wherever they end up, And yeah, man, I'm holding out hope. And I've always been a big fan of Tennille. I think she's very good in the ring.
I do too.
And anything they've given her, she's always done well. I mean, she was doing the fucking thing.
I loved her as Emma. I loved her as Emma. I thought she was great.
And then she came back all about me,
Yeah, it seems like the ball was dropped with her too.
Definitely.
It's continued to be dropped. Like it's like start, stop.
Yeah, and they got rid of her because like she stole an iPad. Like, who gives a fuck? An iPod? Who gives a shit?
I know. Come on, guys.
Want to listen to music.
Used to bring guns and knives in the locker room. We're worrying about goddamn iPods.
Who cares, man? I hope you still have the damn iPod if you're listening.
Seriously.
You're not, but if you were, I hope.
But you could be.
I hope you have. If you want to come on too, interview.
Open invite.
Okay, next up we got Hammerstone.
My guy, Alex Hammerstone. I'll go in on this one. So, we don't have to talk about his physique. The guy's working his ass off right now. I'm
gonna hold my physique.
And let me tell you this. What he's doing every day in the gym on that Stairmaster. He is putting up 400 floors in an hour. I've done it. 3 times.
What level
in my life? It depends on the Stairmaster you're on, but it usually for me, the one I use is between 12. Basically, it would be if you're on an hour at 12 and a half. You got to go between 12 and 13. 30 minutes
for an hour.
For an hour. I've done it. It is absolute hell. This guy's doing it 4 to 5 days a week in the gym. He's and he's doing that much cardio, and he still looks like that. Guy works his ass off. I've had a match with him. I'm a big fan of Alex Hammerstone. I think he's going. He obviously used to be. So let's speculate now. He used to be in a faction with Richard Holiday, one other guy similar. Richard Holiday and MJF and MLW. They were the dynasty, right? So MJF's on the shelf for a bit. So probably not going to see that anytime soon. But he's got a big match this weekend against Josh Alexander at TNA, a place that should put him at the top of the card, bar none. He looks incredible. The guy can work as well. He's not just a body guy. He's not just a guy who's going to go out there and he's stiff and can't really move and just looks big. He's not that. Like the guys used to see in the 2002, 2003, 2004, like WWE, when it was just body guys that couldn't move. This guy can move. This guy can work. Let him do his thing on a big level. He was in MLW for a bit. He was their champ. Now he's not there anymore. You can say what you want about them, but he is legit in all aspects of the word. I'm a huge fan of his. More people should be a huge fan of his. And I think that if he does a little bit of TNA, and then maybe when MJF comes back, I would love to see him as well as Richard Holiday, who I'm also a big fan of. I'd like to see both of them in AEW alongside MJF when they go against the Devil Boys. I don't know what their name is, but yeah, them.
I echo everything Ben just said about Hammerstone. Ben, and this is a little bit behind the curtain, Ben loves Hammerstone.
I'm a big fan.
And you're a huge fan. I think me and Ben text pretty often. I would say 35% of those texts are about Hammerstone.
I wouldn't say that many, but yeah, no.
But Ben, what shirt do you have on, by the way? What shirt is that?
This is a Mucho Chris Muljo. Shout out to my old town.
I was going to say, because I got the Macho Man.
Oh, my God, I didn't even notice.
Dude, I know, Mucho Mojo. When I was at the old stool here, I brought him in, and then he told us we couldn't curse on the thing because
he's a shoot teacher. Yeah, you can say
he's got the shoot teacher over there. Mucho tremendous. He's
the best.
We'll make this a clip. If Mucho Chris Mojo, no
Muljo,
if Mucho Chris Muljo is a friend of yours and you follow him on social media and you put up something that he likes, there is one GIF that he has, and he will run that GIF into the ground, brother.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Mucho tremendous. Like, he made this GIF probably like in 2020 when the world was shut down, and he's like, the gimmick's here, brother. I got it. I just made this GIF. It's on my phone, and if I like what you're doing, guess what? Mucho tremendous. The GIF right in your face every single time. Big fan of the Mucho Mojo, man.
He's the best. He's a great guy. But yeah,
great theme song too. Great theme song. Great theme song.
Shout out Mucho Trouble, one of the greatest indie tag teams that never were.
All right, moving on. Let's go Dana Brooke. Anything on Dana Brooke?
Dana Brooke, I think with somebody like Dana Brooke, she was there for a while. I think since what was it? Since 2013. So 10 years. 10 years in the WWE. I think at this point, I don't see her going anywhere else. I think somebody like Dana Brooke, obviously very attractive woman, can be in the fitness industry, fitness mod. I think she was doing that a little bit before.
I was gonna say create some supplements
they're going to sell. She'll be the face of something. Go to the Arnold Classics, team up with a supplement brand.
She's nice. She's like the nicest person ever. She can work the mic. She can go to go to the classics. She has credibility out the ass. So I honestly think that she's just made to be in front of
she don't need wrestling. She doesn't need it.
She doesn't need wrestling. She can be successful doing so much other stuff. Next up we got Mansoor Mace, who Ben had to remind me who they were before the show. Continue.
These are the guys. If you guys forget who they were the guys when LA Knight was.
Yeah.
What's his name? What was his name?
Oh, Max Dupree.
Max Dupree. He was with Max Dupree. They were the guys that stood behind him. Again, they're good looking guys. I'm looking at a picture of them right now, so I remembered who they were too. So Mace and Mansoor tag team. They're going to show up at front of the program, Effie's Big Gay Brunch in Tampa, Florida.
Effie's great. I love Effie, man.
Effie's great. He's one of the funniest guys on Twitter. If you don't follow him, you probably should be.
If he don't like you on Twitter too, he's gonna fucking.
Oh, he'll let you know. The guy. He don't play the political game. No, I love that about him. Sometimes he'll torch you. He will. So these two guys, I mean, again, they're gonna try to do their thing. They're gonna continue to be a tag team on the indies. And see what they can do with it. All power to him. But Mace is a big dude. Mansoor can kind of play that like chicken shit heel smaller guy role in the tag team. Yeah, you know what? And they have a gimmick. So and it looks like they're gonna continue that gimmick. Looks like they're all in on it. So let's see what they do.
I'm all in on it. And as of about 25 minutes ago, I'm just a huge fan of these guys.
Yeah, so I think again, that GCW, that's the place that a lot of these guys go, and you're gonna try to see if it works, try to see if the gimmick works, and get in front of those fans and keep doing their thing.
And also, I'm not saying they stink or anything. It's just that listen, I'm a dad. I only have so much time in my day. I can't watch every single segment.
We're not wrestling dorks, man. Like our boy Matt Jones says, we ain't wrestling dorks. We don't watch 8 hours, 10 hours of wrestling.
I just can't do it. I would literally end up divorced if I watched as much wrestling as was on television. My wife would stab me in the neck with a knife.
With a knife.
I'm gonna finish it up with the free agent of all free agents. I mean, it's basically, like he is the agent. It's a bit of Matt Cardona, like he's still technically a free agent. He's not newly free agent, but I thought we couldn't have this list without mentioning him and what he's up to. What do you think, Ben?
No. Yeah, I mean, we all know what he's done, and I think he's been the most pleasant surprise on the Indies over the past 3 years of what he's been able to do and reinvent himself. Because he was a guy who was in WWE forever too. I think he was in WWE since 2005, 2006. Started as the Edgeheads. And just True Long Island Story, and the rest is history. So he's done an outstanding job. I don't know why I'm even saying we're preaching to the choir here. You know what Matt Cardona has done. We don't have to go into it.
And I wanted
for him to come back anywhere though. Like think about it though, Nick. He's got the podcast that makes money. He's got the toy line that makes money. He's making a shit ton in merch. He's making a shit ton on the Indies. So they're probably going to have to. It's probably going to have to be a pretty substantial deal for Matt Cardona to come back to WWE, and he makes his own schedule.
Yep.
For
me, there's only one place that I want to see him turn up, and that's the Fed. That's just my preference, obviously. And the reason I wanted to kind of close out on him is because for everyone we just listed above, there's the blueprint. Like if you want to do something, the blueprint is right there. It's right in front of you. I guess we'll put one more person before we close out the show, Ben.
Who is it?
Mercedes Moné is still technically a free agent, even though she is very much linked to one promotion at the moment.
I think there's been a lot of speculation. SRS has been getting in a lot of fights on Twitter over this because people are saying he's wrong, he's right, who knows?
Real quick, shout out SRS, followed your boy. Finally, brother. You did the right
both
thing.
of us now.
Now we have the trifecta of journalism now. With Van Vliet, we have the three best looking people in all of wrestling media and best interviewers. Now we have, from a journalist standpoint, the trifecta of Sapp, Bishop, Good.
Yep. Yeah, we sure do. We sure do. Follow both of us now. We're really excited. Probably gonna have them on the pod.
Probably next
time.
week. Probably.
When we have
time, we'll have Sean Ross Sapp.
But Mercedes Moné, we'll close it out with her. She's obviously one of the most sought after free agents. One of the best women's wrestlers on the planet. My speculation. She's gonna show up at the Rumble. That's my guess.
So, Ben, what's funny is you surprised me there, because I thought you were going to say, like, yep, it's AEW. And this is just me saying, like, she's another one where, like, I don't think she's meant for WWE. That is it. Like, for example, Deonna Purrazzo just signed with AEW. I think she's perfect for AEW. She's a great women's wrestler. She could talk on the mic, and they need to also create stars, right? Like, to say, like, Deonna's a star. She already is a star. But, like, look what AEW did with Toni Storm, who is also a star in WWE, right? Like, I think Deonna can literally be, like, being one of the faces of the women's division. Mercedes Moné, Sasha, she's just such a mega star that, like, I almost think it's almost like a disservice to the AEW's women division, because I really think that women's division, like, they need to bring in people that need to grow and find new characters. If Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné goes into AEW, you're just getting the boss. And like, I think it's a wrap there. But if she's in WWE, she's on the same playing field. And I think it's better for competition and better for the women's division if you put her against Rhea, Charlotte when she comes back, Becky, Bayley, down the entire roster. I don't think she should go to AEW. I hope she turns up at the Rumble, and I just think that's just what it is, man. Like, that's just what it is. If you want someone to go to AEW, let Naomi go to AEW. I think she could, do some shit there. But I think she's going.
She's supposedly coming back.
Back. She's going to be doing this soon in the Bloodline.
Oh yeah, they could. Yeah, I think that'd be good for them.
But that's that. Yeah. What do you got? Close out.
I was gonna say I don't know which one she's married to, though. I couldn't tell you.
She's married. I
think it's Jimmy. Is it Jimmy?
Yeah, it's not Jay. She's married to Jimmy.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Nick.
So all right, that's it for this week, fellas. We talked about the free agents in professional wrestling. We speculated where they're gonna go. If there's anything that I know about social media, because your boy's been going, I've been making some waves lately.
He sure has, the viral man.
If you follow Nicky the Good, If you don't know now, you know. Nicky brings the goods. Yep, that's my catchphrase. I developed it. Ben is Captain Catchphrase, but now I am
Captain Catchphrase. But speaking of that, hey guys, we got a ton more shirts available.
Gotta sell.
How do you buy the goddamn merch?
Please
buy
our merch.
Arms look great. They make your chests look great. 60/40 cotton poly blend. That's what we're talking about. Buy the merch. Look at the beautiful merch. Meat Pop Express, Meat Pop and Jaw Dropping, Never Job, and all the socials underneath as well. So, folks, buy the merch. I got a whole goddamn case of them over here. We need you to buy the merch.
Speaking of our socials, you can follow Ben at Big Trouble BB everywhere. Go follow him there. You can follow me at Nicky the Good on Twitter, on TikTok. And you can follow us at the Meat Pop Express everywhere on the entire internet. And Ben, do you have anything else to say to these marks?
Nothing else. Keep it trucking, keep it positive, and keep the shades on, because the sun never sets on a cool guy.
Later, Marks.